Caitlin Clark is rewriting the rules on how to shut down your bullies.
9-point lead. Clark a three.
Clark has space. She's going to let it fly, and she's going to...
They said she was too bold, too brash, and taking too much of the spotlight. They whispered she was all hype, but Clark didn't just enter the WNBA. She stormed in and let her game do the talking. Caitlin is rewriting the rules of the game. This rookie sensation has not only captured the hearts of fans, but has also drawn the attention of her toughest critics. As whispers of rivalry echo through the WNBA, Caitlin is proving that the best way to silence the haters is to outplay them game by game. Stick around as we uncover how Caitlin Clark is dismantling her bullies with nothing but pure skill and fearless determination. Now, despite the glowing spotlights and roaring crowds that follow her every move, Caitlin Clark's journey through the WNBA has been anything but easy. Since stepping onto the professional hardwood, Caitlin has faced more than just tough defenses. She has encountered a barrage of unwelcome physical contact, shoves, elbows, and even full-body hits that veer dangerously away from fair play. It's clear that these aggressive acts are not mere coincidences, but they are targeted, deliberate, and fueled by motives darker than simple competition. Jealousy seems to be beneath the surface. Her meteoric rise to fame has eclipsed even the league's seasoned stars. Fans flock to arenas, home and away, just to catch a glimpse of her in action, while some players, once celebrated, now find themselves sidelined in public memory. And this shift is all about visibility and value. With every packed game and swelling bank account, the tension intensifies. Clark is shifting the economic dynamics of the league, but the resentment doesn't stop at fame or finances. It goes deeper, touching raw nerves around race and representation. There's a sense among many players that the media's darling might be held to a different standard. Caitlin's teammates and opponents are worried. They're scared they might be forgotten because Caitlin is shining so bright. Some people are even calling her the best basketball player ever. And this fear isn't just about losing games to her, but about being left behind in the memories of fans and the earnings from the sport. They're afraid she'll be the one everyone remembers. However, in a sport where controversy draws eyes, and eyes mean revenue, every shove Caitlin endures and every headline questioning fairness only fuels the WNBA's visibility and viability. It's a game within a game, where the stakes are as much about narrative control as they are about scoreboard victories. But let's turn our focus to the court, where Caitlin isn't just participating in the game, she's dominating it. Game after game, she confronts her bullies not with words, but with undeniable skill and poise. Remember when Breanna Stewart set a tough screen to welcome Caitlin Clark to the WNBA during a game against the New York Liberty?
Has 8 points and 3 assists as Stewart sets the screen on Clark. Stewart now guarded by Clark. Stewart using her size and the finesse as well.
That moment caught a lot of attention. And before CC was even drafted by the Fever, the legendary Diana Taurasi shared her thoughts during an interview with Scott Van Pelt. Taurasi warned of the challenges ahead, saying,
"Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie, and it might take a little bit longer for some people."
Interestingly, despite this, Clark has always looked up to her as a role model. She recently expressed her admiration, noting,
And I just admired the way she played the game and the fire that she played with, and it's impressive that she's still able to play this game at such a high level and produce the way she does. It's incredible. I think she's obviously the best scorer our game has ever seen and one of the best players our game has ever seen.
However, Clark took Diana Taurasi's cautious words not just as advice, but as a challenge to step up her game even further. The response she delivered on the court was something not even Taurasi could have predicted. In that high-stakes game, while Taurasi managed to score 19 points, it was Caitlin who stole the show. Despite her struggling with shooting, hitting only 4 out of 14 shots, Caitlin made a significant impact everywhere else. Her playmaking shined with 12 assists, and she was a force in rebounding, grabbing 9 boards. Her performance was so compelling that even Taurasi, after the game, couldn't help but praise her, saying,
The one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and, she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright, and, being a veteran and being in this league for a long, long time, it's pretty cool to see that and, going into the future.
Pressure seems to follow 22 constantly, yet she handles it with the ease of someone far beyond her years. Next in the saga is Lexi Brown of the Los Angeles Sparks. When Lexi heard about Ice Cube's extraordinary offer to Caitlin Clark, she couldn't conceal her shock and displeasure. As a player earning just over $80,000 this season, Brown viewed this NBA-level offer to an NCAA player as a dismissive gesture to many established talents in her league. So, no other women's basketball player has came to mind in the last 7 years? Lexi then took the same energy to the Gill podcast.
You offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA. Big Three does not happen during overseas season, so that doesn't make sense.
That's true.
You pretty much offended all of the European countries that open their doors to us, give us a lot of money, a lot of love, and a lot of experience by calling them dismal and dubious. And there are some very beautiful countries that we have the opportunity to go play in. So, if you're gonna say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman, that makes sense. But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think. And I don't think it really makes any sense.
And as her remarks spread, it became evident that her intense reaction might also be fueled by envy. However, despite Lexi Brown's substantial earnings of over $300,000 from her 6 seasons in the WNBA and additional time overseas, her reaction to Ice Cube's generous offer to Clark hinted at underlying feelings. And when the two finally clashed on the court, Caitlin was determined to prove her worth.
Here's Clark in transition where she's dangerous. Leaves it behind for Stevens. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three. Clark has space. She's going to let it fly, and she's going to connect.
The Indiana Fever, under Caitlin's lead, clinched their first win of the season in a thrilling comeback against the Sparks, overturning an 11-point halftime deficit to win 78-73. Clark shone brightly, nearly securing a triple-double with 11 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals. And Brown, who had stirred up attention with her controversial comments, had a quieter game, contributing 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, and ultimately facing defeat. Their second encounter on the court was even more charged. Although the Fever didn't win this time, with the Sparks taking the game 88-82, Caitlin Clark's individual performance was electrifying.
Clark, she will launch and bury a three. Pull back to Clark. She will launch and bury a three. Just under 8 minutes to play. Clark finds some space and hits a three.
She exploded for 30 points along with 5 rebounds and 6 assists. It was in this game that Lexi Brown might have realized that her earlier comments had unintentionally sparked a fierce response from Clark, whose performances on the court have spoken louder than any Bullies. Now, recall this notorious foul on Caitlin Clark by Kennedy Carter that became a hot topic in the basketball world.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Carter committed what many deemed an overly aggressive foul on Clark, but despite being caught off guard by the intense encounter, Caitlin Clark maintained her composure remarkably. Clark and her team managed to scrape out a victory with a final score of 71-70, and the drama of that game set the stage perfectly for a highly anticipated rematch 2 weeks later. Reese, who had previously been observed clapping from the sidelines during the controversial foul, was now at the forefront of the action.
In the voting last season. Clark, hammer.
Caitlin Clark, with the memories of their last encounter still fresh, was ready to change her approach. This time, she wasn't going to let any aggressive moves slide without a response. Determined not just to play it cool as she had before, Clark was prepared to match the intensity with intensity.
Quarter an 8-3 rebounding advantage. Clark pulls, fires. Someone forgot about Smith.
And after the foul by Reese, she remained unshaken as she continued to showcase her exceptional skills on the court, leading to another victory. Their victory against the Chicago Sky with a score of 91-83 marked their second consecutive triumph over their rivals and secured their first back-to-back wins of the season. In this game, Clark was the linchpin, delivering what many are calling the standout performance for her young WNBA career. Clark's impact was undeniable. She scored a game-high 23 points, which included sinking 3 shots from beyond the arc, but her influence didn't stop there. She also dished out 9 assists, grabbed 8 rebounds, and blocked 2 shots. This all-around performance was so remarkable that it placed her in an elite group. From facing harsh fouls to overcoming off-court controversies, this young phenom has demonstrated time and again that true champions are not just born on the court, but forged through adversity. Her ability to turn challenges into triumphs not only silences her doubters, but also cements her status as an icon in women's basketball. She's not just shutting down her bullies, she's inspiring a whole new generation to shoot for the stars, no matter the opposition they face. So, if you're as inspired by Caitlin Clark's journey as we are, make sure you hit play on this next video titled "Caitlin Clark Just Shut Down the WNBA Bullies." Watch her in action, see the plays that have fans and critics alike buzzing, and join us in tracking the rise of a new legend in the making.